and I keep talking about this stuff that George hates.
Let's see. Let me get out of this and get into here. All right. We have 0 viewers.
Oh man, I ran them all off.
I'll update the.
Oh, we're up to 2. Hello, Citros. What's up, sir? Or ma'am, I don't know. 3 viewers. They're warming up. They're coming back.
Yay.
4. Symbio bro. Let's get our gloves on. Ding, 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 ding. 9 viewers. Did you just put it on Facebook?
No, I'm trying to. If our
That's
Facebook
fine.
page would load, that would be awesome.
Yep. What's up, Joey?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello.
Okay. Thought I lost everybody there for a while.
No. I'm recording Saturday Night Live. Chadwick Boseman is hosting.
Oh, that does sound riveting. Who the hell is that?
Black Panther, man.
Oh,
Yeah.
I don't know why I forgot his name.
Yeah. He was T'Challa was just on
I know what it was. I thought you said Channing Tatum.
Oh, you mean Gambit?
Yeah.
I've got it on mute, but I just looked over. T'Challa was on Family. Oh no, Jeopardy. Or no, was it Family Feud? I forget. No, Jeopardy. Yeah, that's what it was. That was funny. Okay, so 283, right?
Yeah. Hang on, I'm still trying to post it on Facebook.
Okay.
It's midnight, and I am worn out, so I can only focus on one thing at a time. You taskmaster. Why does it still say Spidey history?
It doesn't. It says Friday Night Fight.
Oh, no, hang on. That's the thing I published earlier. Okay, never mind. All right. Oh, hi. Hey.
11 viewers.
Hi, everyone.
Well, he had a Family Feud in Black Panther. That's funny. But he was on Jeopardy on Saturday Night Live.
Hornacek says, let's get ready for a more Friday Night Fight starring JR. You know what, Hornacek? You're dead to me, sir.
Oh,
You're
that's
dead
funny.
to me, Hornacek.
All right,
we used to have mad love, but now, Hornacek, now we have bad blood.
Oh, man.
So take a look at what you've done. Isn't that how it goes? I don't know Tay-Tay. I don't.
No, you got it pretty good. I like Tay-Tay.
I know you do.
So we used to have bad blood. Elvira.
Oh, my God.
Boom, papa, boom, papa. All right, let's get 13 viewers. You ready, George?
Yeah.
You ready, JR?
Ready.
You ready, YouTubers? All right. Coming in 3-2. Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our April Friday Night Fights with George. What's going on, George?
Hi, everyone.
You got the boxing gloves on, and we're going back to the 80s. But first, let's introduce JR, who is also on the line. JR, what's up, sir?
I'm not going to say a whole lot here, okay, because I talked too much earlier, and I don't want to offend George.
You're not gonna offend me if you talk. I'm used to you and all manner of jackassery when you're on these things. I mean, you know.
We are going back to Amazing Spider-Man number 283 that came out in 1986. It's the Absorbing Man in Titania versus a black-suited Spider-Man that's not a symbiote with a Bob Layton cover. And little addendum to this, George, this is the very first issue I ever bought in a comic book shop, not a spinner rack, back in 1986. I went into my first comic book shop and was amazed. Just amazed. It was like the Mecca. Oh, I think it was Moe's Comics in St. Louis is where I probably bought this.
Did you feel like you had gone to heaven?
Oh man, I couldn't believe so many comics in one shop. And you know where I found the address for this comic shop because there was no internet.
That's right. You had to go to the Yellow Pages.
Well, nope, I didn't do that.
What?
I went to the price guide. This the Overstreet price guide. In the back, they had a list of comic book shops.
Oh.
And I went to Missouri and found one in St. Louis, and we went there, and boom.
You know, back in the day, I bet back when we were kids, I bet if we'd have written into Marvel, they would have told us where one was.
If they even knew.
I guarantee you Marvel knew.
They probably knew, actually, yeah.
I guarantee Marvel was a corporation by the time you and I were kids.
In 86, yeah.
Yeah, they definitely knew.
I always wanted to write in to see if I could get a no prize, and I never wound up doing that. So.
I was 11 years old when I bought this book right here in my hand. So, all right, take me through this fight, George.
All right, so a little bit of pretext with this fight. We actually have to look back to the glorious, magnificent, incredible Secret Wars.
Yeah.
Specifically, Secret Wars #8.
Yep.
Which is the iconic issue that features, the Spidey in the black suit on Battle World.
Boy, I don't remember those. But anyway.
You don't remember that?
Well, I don't remember them being so iconic and stuff. I mean, I remember them existing, but I don't recognize the adjectives you use to describe them. But anyway, go ahead.
Take your fish oil or your emu poisons or whatever the hell you octogenarians take, and try to keep up with the rest of us. All right.
Okay.
We're gonna take it out. We're gonna take the beat out for a walk and just try to keep it. All right.
Oh my gosh, Joey in chat says a trip to the comic shop is like a massage parlor for the soul.
Okay.
Wow, Joey, wow. All right, then.
All right.
I was 11, sir.
Yeah. All right. So, Secret Wars #8. This was right before Spider-Man got the black suit. Now, on the cover, he's in the black suit. But inside the issue, he's actually in his red and blue suit until the end of the issue, and then that's when he gets the symbiote from a like a coffee machine, which is weird because Thor got like a cape, and they never went back to that. They never. Presumably,
you know what? That's true.
Presumably, Thor's cape would have been a symbiote too. Maybe like when Thor's symbiote showed up on his back, he just killed the damn thing, and then that was it.
He wasn't bogged by 30 years of fighting the damn cape.
He was like, I have no interest. Verily, I have no interest in dragging this thing, whatever it is, out for 30, 40 years. I'll just kill it now.
Didn't the Hulk and Thor walk out with? Didn't the Hulk have like new pants and Thor had a new cape?
I don't know about the Hulk's pants, but I know Thor was in there getting like a new cape or something. Yeah.
There is a future
Spider-Man
story.
just gets a turd. He just gets a black turd.
Yeah.
The coffee machine spit out a symbiote.
But before he got that, while the superheroes were attacking Doom Base, which is where all the villains were, and they're trying to. Well, no, that happened in 12. They're attacking the villain HQ. Pardon me, not necessarily Doom Base. And they're doing it in retaliation for these guys jacking up She-Hulk. So the heroes are like, dude, we've had all we can stand. We can't stand no more. And then they were like, that's it. We're going, and we don't even care. We're going to get a piece of some villains today. And so Spider-Man at one point wound up, he and Hawkeye, and I think maybe the Thing were fighting the Wrecking Crew, and Absorbing Man was with them. And Absorbing Man saw how hard and how quickly Spider-Man was putting down, I think, Bulldozer from the Wrecking Crew. And he was like, I don't want any of this, Jack. I'm out. And he started to run away from the fight. And then Spider-Woman showed up and made him like part of the wall. She hit him so hard. Mm-hmm. And then eventually Spider-Man comes across Titania, who's like, aha, I will squash you like a buck. And he proceeds to kick the living crap out of her. Mm-hmm. He is so fast, she can't even hit him. And she's like, stay still. I can't, and he's just like, what? So you can pound me? How about no? And he hits her a few times, and then finally he just kicks her out of the damn building, and she falls probably 60, 70 feet down to the ground and passes out. And she's like, oh, no, it wasn't fair. And I'm like, no, crap, it wasn't fair. You're fighting 80 Spider-Man, not 2010 Spider-Man. Yeah. Who needs backup? You're fighting the man here. Mm-hmm. So after that, Titania, as we see here, has a huge fear of Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Not just like a little tiny, oh God, what am I going to do? Like, oh crap, run, son, it's Titania. So you know, a little bit of context. This issue, we catch up with Flash Goblin. We catch up with Flash Thompson, who's on the run from the authorities, while everybody thinks that he's the Hobgoblin. And Spidey, you know, like follows the cops rushing to the scene of the crime where Titania has just knocked over a jewelry store, and she's throwing cars around. Because when you're that strong, that's what you do. You throw cars around. And so she throws a car at Spidey, like up in the air into the side of a building to try to hit Spidey. And so Spidey, you know, he webs up the van to the side of the wall and then goes after Titania, who runs away as fast as she can. And she thinks she's giving Spider-Man the slip, but, you know, Spidey tails her back to the apartment. She meets up with Absorbing Man, her boyfriend. You know, they're sharing like a hotel room together, and you know, and she gets back and they exchange a little kiss and everything, and then he realizes that she's knocked over a diamond store, and he's like, "Look, we're part of the Brotherhood, or no, the Masters of Evil now. We can't be doing panty ante stuff like this. We got to, you know, we're about to go after like some big prizes here. We can't. You're bringing heat down on us we don't need." And then suddenly he notices Spider-Man, who's heard him talking to Titania and overheard them talking about some kind of job they're supposed to do at LaGuardia Airport. So then, you know, the Absorbing Man sees Spidey running off, and then he's like, "Oh, I wonder what Spidey was doing here." And then Titania's like, "Yeah, he might, you know, we should talk. He might have followed me after the heist that I pulled." So, but Spidey takes off because he's got things to do, because this is the day of Ned and Betty's wedding. Betty is about to go from Betty Brant to Betty Leeds.
Yeah.
And so everyone's excited. Spidey meets up with his date, Mary Jane, to go to the wedding. And at one point they sit down and they have a cup of coffee. Of course, you know, at this point she knows he's Spider-Man. She's his confidant. And here they are holding hands over a cup of coffee, being supportive of one another, and Mary Jane, you know, trying to bolster his strength, because the marriage was so out of nowhere and forced and rushed and pushed on us. This is 8 months before, like, he even proposed, folks. Every time you hear, and JR, we had just talked about this in a previous month on Spider History, about, you know, we go back and we cover these books and we see these moments where every time you can recall somebody saying, "Oh, the marriage," including Quisay, "the marriage was forced. It was just out of nowhere. It's forced." It is all a big, steamy pile of crap. JR, am I wrong?
Absolutely not. I agree with you.
And it's moments like this that point that out. It's moments like this. The fact that she had a key to his apartment. You know, anyway, I digress.
You think Gwen Stacy had a key to his apartment?
No.
Or did he even have an apartment? Yeah,
he shared an apartment with Harry, I think, back then.
Flash and Harry, and
yeah. So Spider-Man shows up at LaGuardia and instantly sets Titania off, because she and Absorbing Man are there. They're there to do their job for the Masters of Evil. And immediately Titania gets spooked, and what does she do? She throws another car at Spider-Man. Throwing cars is just what she does. Oh God, it's Spider-Man. I better pick up a car and throw it.
There's a great scene that you often talk about, how you like Friends, multiple jumping of...
You are jumping so far ahead in this fight, dude.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm still at the throwing cars bit, and you're like, "Hey, look at this thing that happens 2 pages later."
Oh, I'm so sorry. I'm 2 pages ahead of you, aren't I?
Yeah. Again, try to keep up.
Sorry.
Okay.
Oh, there's a different car thrown. Okay.
Oh,
there's
my
a lot
God.
of cars.
Oh Lord. So Spider-Man goes after her first, while Absorbing Man goes to get his. She's getting ready to throw another car at him.
Yeah.
While Spider-Man, while Absorbing Man, while Crusher Creel's getting his wrecking ball out of the trunk, and then Spider-Man goes right after Titania, and oh my God, she is pleading. All he does is like kind of knee her in the face. Keep in mind, this is someone who can get punched by She-Hulk and be okay. Spider-Man just knees her in the face, and she's like, "Crusher, no, please help. He's killing me." And it's, on the one hand, you kind of feel bad for it, but on the other hand, it's like, you brought this on yourself. You know, maybe if you hadn't been so gosh darned evil. But then now, you know, Absorbing Man gets into the fight, and then it's a real fight, and he smashes through a car. This is a bad day for auto insurance. at LaGuardia. It's a really bad day.
That's funny.
And then Titania throws like another van through a window inside the airport terminal. Like she can't stop throwing cars. Like that's her new shtick. I'm just going to hurl cars.
Yep.
The deadliest place to fight this woman is at the Daytona 500. Right?
Yep.
So Spidey manages to web this van, and he's like, dude, this is not going to hold this for long. Well, and then, then we finally get to the panel you were referring to.
I'm sorry.
By skipping ahead, where we do, that, and Ron Friends did I guess like the breakdowns for this, and Leighton did the finishes.
Looks so good.
But you can tell it's like because this was Friends and DeFalco's last or second to last issue, I think. Just second to last, because the next one is the start of the gang war.
Yeah, I agree.
So, Spidey, we have like another. How many Spideys do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It looks like 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just hitting the Absorbing Man from all sides. He's like, hold still, blast you, hold. And Spidey finally just knocks him out temporarily. I mean, just puts him down. And of course, Titania just freaks out.
Mm-hmm.
And she's aghast that Spider-Man has just knocked out her boyfriend. And I've got to repeat her thought bubbles here, her inner monologue. Got to run before he comes after me. Got to hide, but I can't desert Crusher. I can't. 30 years before I can't, I just can't was a thing. Here's Titania throwing it out.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing. I get nothing from that. I'm talking to the wrong people in this thing.
No, it's all good. I'm watching it. I'm reading along.
So what does Titania do? She's in a tight situation. Spider-Man just knocked out her boyfriend. She's like, I want to run because Spider-Man terrifies me, but I can't leave Absorbing Man. What does she do?
Get away from my man. Throws a car.
She throws another vehicle at him because that's just what Titania does.
Yep.
It's like if you don't have a vehicle, if you fight her in the middle of the desert, I don't know what she's going to do. She's going to be like, I have nothing. I have nothing. I can't do anything. So yeah, she throws a truck, some kind of, looks like maybe a garbage truck or some sort of delivery truck at Spider-Man
with a boom.
Yeah, who manages to duck out of the way. And then now she's finally attacking Spider-Man. Spider-Man, once she's like managed, she makes him reposition himself on the battlefield, and then she kind of bears down on him, and the two are like kind of fighting, kind of hand to hand, which is funny because like she's scared of Spider-Man, and Spider-Man, is like, wrestling where they're, doing like what is that thing where you do? What is that called? Mercy, that game?
Oh yeah.
With whoever
bends first.
It's like, look at me now. I'm doing like Kirby hands and. Anyway,
and you were making fun of me with making fun of my articulation during the Spider history.
Well, because I'm doing a specific panel, JR. You do that the whole time, and then Peter and Mary Jane are eating Aunt May's cake. That's how you roll. And so she's like, she's still kind of scared of him. She's coming off of adrenaline. But Spider-Man's like, dude, I can barely hang out with this. I mean, she's strong as, crazy strong. Then Spider-Man's spider sense go off, and then we see that Absorbing Man has regained consciousness and picked up a plane full of people.
Yeah,
and is about to throw that at Spidey because he knows Titania is going to be okay. He knows, how indestructible she is. But he knows Spider-Man's not indestructible, and neither are the people on the plane. He's like, I will hit you with this plane full of people. Unless this stops right now, walk your ass back. We're going out of here. We're leaving. And so he's holding this plane there, and Spider-Man's like, dude, get real. This airport's got to be surrounded by cops right now. You're not going anywhere. And Absorbing Man, who is like as hard as like steel right now, and holding the plane, is like, look at me, I'm shaking. He holds all the cards here because he's got a plane full of people.
Yep.
And so what happens? Spider-Man leaves.
Oh.
So that the Absorbing Man does not throw a plane full of people. Titania and Absorbing Man hug, embrace, and go off. And then the next day in the paper, Spider-Man coward in the Daily Bugle. Of course, Flash Thompson's reading it thinking, no, Spider-Man's awesome. You suck, Bugle. And end of issue. Brad.
Yeah, dude.
Decision here. Absorbing Man won.
Absorbing Man's because the fighter walked off the battlefield.
If there's one Achilles heel that a hero has, and this isn't just Peter Parker, this is most heroes. I say most. It wouldn't work on Iron Man, I don't think, because well, then again, he's a villain. Never mind. But yeah, I mean, like, what else is Spider-Man going to do?
Well, the fighter left the ring.
Yeah, Spider-Man left. Spider-Man walked out. I mean, on a technicality, I mean, this goes to Absorbing Man. Spider-Man lost this fight.
Hornacek says the comics wanted to have Absorbing Man and Titania get married, but they thought it would be too rushed.
It'd be too rushed. I can't believe you had Titania and Absorbing Man get married. It aged them both so much.
That's funny. That was a good fight. I remember that very vividly. Titania has come back over the years, just never been afraid of him since, I don't think.
Not as much. I mean, she's
mainly a She-Hulk villain.
She's really mainly a She-Hulk villain. I don't even know if her and Absorbing Man are still together.
I think they are.
There was a time when she had cancer.
Mm-hmm.
I
forget what book that was. Maybe it was She-Hulk.
Yeah.
Yeah. But JR, your thoughts on this fight? Do you give it to Absorbing Man?
Yeah, actually, I have to give it. Yeah, afraid so.
Yeah.
Overwhelmed by the power. Absorbing Man was defending his lady love, and the power of love helped defeat Spider-Man today.
Are you going to make me sing Huey Lewis?
No, we're not. Do not. Do not. JR, damn you for doing that.
It's the power of love. Okay.
Oh, God.
All right. Any final thoughts on this one, George? Good fight. It was a done in one, kind of, right?
It was as an addendum to this fight.
Yeah.
Back in the day, back when these issues were first coming out, I was still in like middle school and high school.
Yeah, same here.
And this was one of those issues. This, and I think like Incredible Hulk 316. Remember when you had like some of the Avengers jump the mindless? Yeah,
the burn separated Hulk.
Issues like that, because there was a lot of those back in the people used to get their asses beaten in the 80s. It was such a Brad. This is why most of the fights we cover are from the 80s, because people used to just beat ass.
And we were also kids, and we loved seeing these.
Oh my God, yes, there was nothing better than a big fight.
Yeah,
and so it was issues like this with Titania hurling vehicles every other page.
Yeah.
And things of that nature. When I started playing the Marvel superhero role-playing game by TSR that came out in the 80s, every one of the characters that I made, like original characters, they were all capable. They were at least like 50-ton strength or higher.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, dude, I'm never being somebody puny. Everybody I have will be able to pick up a car and toss it at someone. Because that is awesome.
Yeah. What was it? Hornacek in chat said, it feels like Spidey rarely fights a female villain in physical battle. I would agree with that. And it's kind of hard to see a guy fight a woman in comics. Well, you generally don't see that. You don't generally see it. But here's the thing. I mean, like going back to even like the first time they encountered one another in the Secret Wars, in a one-on-one situation, Spidey knew how tough she was already. Yeah,
and so he already knew. He's like, okay, this gal's kind of like She-Hulk. I can go ahead and fight this person. It's cool.
Yeah.
It would be different if he was fighting. He's not going to hit White Rabbit that hard,
or Princess Python from the Ditko circus.
Yeah. But I mean, with someone like Titania, he's like, you know what? No, I'm at the disadvantage here. Yeah, I'm going to clobber you.
Yeah.
You just don't have that many female villains that have that strength level.
That have that kind of level.
And Spider-Man, particularly, well, I guess he does have some female villains. Like, would you call Black Cat a villain at this point?
Well, I mean, things like, he's fought like Typhoid Mary before, and he's fought, what was that Cold Heart or whatever, another one of those women with issue villains, but no, I mean, very few, I think, have ever been on the strength level.
Oh, what's the female Doc Ock?
Stunner.
And Stunner.
Carolyn Trainer. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. All right.
So he fought, yeah. I'm sorry. I didn't realize we were segueing into the next episode.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did you have something else? What else did you want to say?
Fine. Hornacek had a good point here. He said you ought to do "The Power of Love" as the song for this.
I love me some Huey.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, we ready?
You won't remember that, but I'll remind you when you ask.
Thank you. Welcome. All right, we ready for the next one?
Yeah, let me get it. Hang on.
Let me unbag this book.
That was a really good issue, though. I mean, it's
Oh,
one of
I
those
agree.
issues where Spidey loses, but it was a good story.
I'm unbagging an issue from the 70s.
Oh, do you want to sniff it?
I will on the show.
Try not to rub yourself down with it or anything. Just,
Rub it up, flip it up, rub it down.
Oh, no.
Never trust a what is it?
Never trust a big button to smile, Jomo. That girl is poison.
Dun, 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 dun. That girl is poison.
Never trust a big button to smile.
Well, there's a fight off the top of this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, got it. Perfect. Okay. You ready?
What do you mean? Whoa, 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 whoa. What do you mean there's a fight at the top of this thing?
Miss Muggins hits him hard.
Oh, I hadn't considered that a fight, but yeah, we'll cover that. Okay.
Hell yeah, we just talked about Miss Muggins.
All right. Yeah, sure.
Nice. Miss Muggins wins this one.
We did cover this issue, though, on Spider History.
Did you cover it like you normally do, like in blah, 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 fight, fight, fight? Okay, moving on to this next other thing that I don't really want to talk about. We turn to this thing.
Oh, that's
well,
funny.
it was only a one-issue story, so.
Okay, coming down in 3, 2.
Wait a minute, hang on.
Oh, sorry. I thought you said you were ready.
No, you have to do an addendum on the last issue.
Why?
Because I had my issues flipped around. This is Ned and Betty's wedding, not the other one.
Yeah, that's true, isn't it?
JR, did you let me make that mistake?
You just let him plow through it. I kind of remember you saying that.
It was just I was so eviscerated by you when over the Goblin issue that I was just afraid to speak up.
Oh, damn it!
Here, I'll edit that.
I'm going to blame the fact that it's like 12:20 at night.
It is.
And I just had to sit here. I'm only going on the one pot of coffee, not the 2 pots of coffee I had last night.
That's funny. All right.
You're not going to edit that.
I won't. It's live.
I would just like a little addendum at the start of the thing and say, hey, George realizes this. It was very late, and he corrected
the addendum at, when I record the intro?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you won't remember that either.
Well, just send in the text.
I'm just screwed.
Okay, 11 viewers. Here we go. 3, 2. Hey, Crawl Spacers, welcome to our May Friday Night Fights with George. What's going on, George?
Oh, not much. This month we're covering Absorbing Man and Titania. Oh, no, wait. My memory's gone. We're covering Mirage.
And the wedding of Betty and Ned.
I hate you. No, let's go ahead and talk about this now.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. And introduce JR first.
Oh, hello, JR. What's going on, sir?
Yeah, and I'm the one who's picked on my age and approaching senility. I tell you,
dude, we don't even start these things until 9, and you talked for 4 hours. I don't even want to hear it from you.
I had a lot of history to cover.
It's allegedly May, and Symbio Bro wants to know how the Infinity War movie was.
All right, so last month. You heard me refer to a fight between Spider-Man and an Absorbing Man and Titania, and I said, "Oh, because this is Ned and Betty's wedding." That was incorrect. That's this month.
That was 10 years earlier.
And I'm going to plead the fact that it is past midnight, and I am worn the hell out. And I made that mistake while covering the last issue, and no one called me on it except like YouTube chat, which I wasn't paying attention to because like a professional, I'm trying to go to the issue.
We're going back to May of
I'll slap you.
May of 1976. Issue 156 of Amazing Spider-Man. Here is the copy right here.
Yes.
That's a great looking Ross Andrew.
Mm-hmm.
Or is that Romita?
No, that's Ross Andrew.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So take us through this fight. Right off the top, there's a big fight.
Yes. And we should also mention that this was written by the recently departed Len Wein.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an interesting story. It's not like a knock your socks off game changer, but it's significant because it is the wedding between Ned and Betty, contrary to what you may have heard elsewhere last month.
And what good wedding doesn't have a shotgun with it, or a fight or some sort of family squabble?
Right, it can't be a Marvel wedding without some sort of some sort of villainy. Although a lot of Marvel weddings have gone out without a hitch.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so the issue starts off. Spider-Man is swinging back towards his apartment. He's trying to get to the skylights and go in. His spider sense goes off, and he gets hit with a broom in the back of the head by Mrs. Muggins.
Yep. Mrs.
Muggins hits him 3 times. And once the first initial hit is so hard, Spider-Man's seeing stars.
Yep, he is.
And I don't. It makes me wonder what's mightier, Mrs. Muggins' broom, or Stegron's tail?
Oh
no, wait, it's a trick question. We already know Stegron's tail. There's nothing mightier than Stegron's tail.
Miss Muggins gets in 3 broom swaps,
and one of them knocks him off the damn building.
Yep.
He's forced to hide on the other side of the building, like off in the shadows.
So the winner of this first fight, George, come on.
Round 1 goes Miss Muggins.
There you go, Miss Muggins.
Beat ass.
She was so concerned about him. In this panel, she goes, "Oh my God, I've killed him."
Yeah. and she feels bad. Oh no, it was an accident. It's like when Elmer Fudd kills Bugs Bunny in the opera.
Yeah.
And then he immediately feels bad.
By the way, before we get to the next actual fight, you want to cut you off a Slim Jim from the 70s right there? Snap you off a Slim Jim, man.
Dude, I wish I could. Let me tell you, I've got the munchies right now. That apple I ate didn't really help much.
Slim Jim sounds
or
good.
Not apple, that orange I had. See, I can't even remember what fruit I had like an hour and a half ago.
You and George should just get in a fight, but first you should take some kung fu karate lessons. You can send off and get a record right here if you'd like.
I want the Atlas body in 7 days, though. That's what
the Atlas body.
It's going to take longer than 7 days, JR.
I don't know. Lately, I've been I've been adding more material to work with all the time, though.
Those J-Lo spider setups have been working for you.
Unfortunately, they've been over. Unfortunately, the pizza and the McDonald's are taking their toll.
So Mary Jane shows up to Peter's apartment, and Peter's trying to get dressed for the wedding. He can't do his tie. Mary Jane, fortunately, she knows how to tie a gentleman's tie, so she does it for him. Very, very cute scene, and they leave.
There's no YouTube instructional videos back in '76. She just knows how to tie a tie.
She just knows how to tie a tie.
Yeah.
And so then the door closes behind them, but not in the good way.
Yeah, exactly. They're going somewhere, but
yeah, it's on the wrong side this time. Yeah. This time they're actually going somewhere, not staying for 1980s cable and chill. So
cue the HBO logo. Yeah, whatever it is.
So they head off to the oh gosh, what is it? I think it's some kind of convention center or wherever they're what do they call it? Morgans of Malvern. That's what they call this facility where they're having their wedding and reception.
By the way, Ross Andrew, underrated artist.
Oh yeah, we talk about this all the time.
Underrated.
Ross Andrew and Gil Kane both did a lot of spider work that I think gets overlooked.
Yes.
When held up to other people. Now, I'm not saying that they're overlooked in toto. I mean, people recognize that they are fantastic artists.
Yeah.
Who worked on a myriad of titles for Marvel. But I do think a lot of times their spider work gets overlooked. So I like to point out, like, whenever we're looking at impressive Gil Kane or Ross Andrew art.
Yeah.
And so Spidey, him and MJ show up, and Spider-Man's like, I gotta eat. I'm gonna eat my own foot. I'm impersonating JR right now. While I'm going through the context of this, and I'm just making things up.
Eating some hot dogs, it looks like.
No, it's not a hot dog. It's like a little smoky.
Oh yeah, he says, "Guess these little hot dogs are better than
little hot." But look at it; it's
little smokies. Yeah,
it's either like a Vienna sausage or it's a little smoky.
He's got some smokies and deviled eggs. It looks like.
I prefer to think that it is a little smoky and not a Vienna sausage, because little smokies are awesome and Vienna sausages are nasty.
I like both.
Yeah, it doesn't surprise me. All right. So
you like Spam, George?
I do like Spam.
All right.
I do like Spam. Okay, sure, we'll do this.
I don't like Spam.
No, when I was a kid, my for the longest time after my parents divorced, it was just me and my mom. Living in a little apartment by ourselves. She did the best she could to raise me, and ate a lot of malto meal. In between, we'd have good weeks where I'd have some Cocoa Puffs or a Cookie Crisp, and then other weeks where I'd have malto meal. Mostly it was at least chocolate malto meal, but still malto meal. And a lot of times back then she would cook Spam. She had recipes for Spam. A lot of women did back then. She had recipes for Spam. But what she did for me is she would fry it up.
Oh, I like fried.
Oh yeah, right there, frying it in the skillet is the best way to do it. Right there, cutting it up and frying it in the skillet, and she would put it on sandwiches with like Miracle Whip on it. So I literally have Spam sandwiches with like Miracle Whip. Oh, and my God, I still eat those today. I cook those for myself, for my own personal pleasure. Right, and one thing I also do with Spam still to this day. And here's the thing about Spam: it smells like ass.
No, I like the smell. I don't know.
Okay, something's wrong with
coming out of the can.
Coming out of the can, there is a horrible smell.
I thought you were talking about like fried. I'm like,
no. When it's fried, it smells delicious. But when it's coming right out of the can for the first time,
I'll give you that.
It is noxious. Even someone like me who's eaten like, I don't know, 10,000 cans of Spam in his life, even to this day, the smell is like, no, oh, it's oppressive. Ye gods, what is this? But the minute you actually start frying it, you're like, oh, okay, cool. And then when it's actually done, you're like, yes, this is what I'm talking about. And you know what I do is I cook it, I cube it up, I'll put it in mac and cheese. I put it into delicious salads.
What dressing do you use?
Deja vu. All right. Back at the wedding.
Oh, back at the Spam wedding.
Back at the wedding.
Oh God, that's funny.
Before I almost call them Bed and Nettie. Before Ned and Betty can tie the knot, a gang of no goods shows up at the reception and immediately puts a trank dart into like the guy working the cloak or the coat check, the cloak room. And this guy's named Mirage. He's got a funky costume. He's got that 60s Batman villain thing down where all of your henchmen kind of resemble you in some way, and so they run up the stairs behind him towards the reception, and then they get to the wedding. They interrupt the wedding, and they're like, all right, start filling our suitcases with all your cash, all your all of your jewelry, right? Robbie steps up, tries to get in their faces, and then Jonah's like, no, Joe, stand down. I'll handle this. And then the dude puts a gun right in Jonah's face, and Jonah's like, dude, do you want to check? I will write you a check right now. Here's a check. Go buy yourself a pony, whatever it is that you didn't get as a little girl.
We have the very cowardice-looking Jonah right there.
Oh yeah, that's Jonah at his cowardly finest. So while that's a distraction, Peter manages to like shoot a web out of his cuff link, or not from his cuff link, but from underneath his sleeve, his cuff. And hit the light switch and turn the lights off. And everyone's, oh, God, no, the lights are off. And, of course, by the time the lights come back on, who's there, Brad?
Spider-Man
up on the ceiling, and it's time to beat ass.
Yeah.
And it's really cool because immediately the goons see him, and they start firing up at him. And we see, like, an upside-down panel while Spidey's standing on the roof. And the villain's dialogue, because they're on the top, is upside down.
Here, I'll show you the visual. I haven't seen this trick done.
It was cool.
Where the word balloon is upside down as Spider-Man's word balloon is right side up. That's very kind of cool. That's neat.
Yeah, it's very, very cool. So they start firing, and Spider-Man goes straight towards who is obviously their leader and misses him. I mean, his feet are almost right on top of him, and suddenly he hits nothing. He hits empty air because Mirage isn't there, because he's Mirage.
He's a Mirage.
This is his one trick. Misdirection.
Yep.
So Spider-Man can't hit this guy. Meanwhile, the goons are still trying to shoot at him. He disarms a couple of the goons. He starts beating them down. They tackle him. They manage to kind of swarm him, tackle him. Which and here's the thing: when you're a group of goons, sure you can maybe manage to all hit Spider-Man at once. Like when he's ready. When he's ready to throw down with you, and there's times like he does it here, like he's firmly planted his feet and is like, let's do this.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you about that. I love that panel right there.
Oh yeah,
he's like, are you scared? Come on, bring it. Come on, bring it.
I mean, on the one hand, he could web these guys, but on the other hand, save up the web fluid because you know you're fighting a dude that can appear anywhere.
Right.
So maybe spare the web fluid and just beat ass.
Spare the child. Use the web shooter.
Yeah. So when they jump him,
yeah.
You know, I'm reading this and I'm thinking, you don't understand. You haven't grappled him. He's grappled you.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, immediately Spider-Man starts kicking people in the face, spinning people around, throwing them across the room, and it is glorious.
Mm-hmm.
Another guy tries to get him from behind. Spider-Man throws a dude, turns around, punches this guy out. Ooh, stick and move, Jomo.
Yep, no doubt.
Goes back after the big boss, right?
Mm-hmm.
Goes back after the big boss, and this time Spider-Man's thinking, okay, he's not even there, but this time the guy is there, and he actually hits him a couple of times.
Spider-Man hits Mirage hits him in the gut pretty good.
Yeah, hits him in the gut. Well, because Spider-Man's thinking this dude isn't even real, and so when he cuts, this is how Houdini died. But he punched him in the gut too hard, right? So yeah, Spidey's like, oh God, you know, why didn't the spider sense go off here?
Oh, because of comics.
It makes me wonder. Because comics.
Well, this is twice this issue. He's had stars above his head.
That's true. Yeah.
Yeah, Miss Muggins and now Mirage.
Yeah, and I wish I could go and ask Spider-Man who hits harder, Miss Muggins or Mirage, and you know what the answer is? Stegron's tail. So, although technically he hadn't fought Stegron by this point in time, Stegron hadn't actually
about 10 issues away.
No, I take that back because
Marvel Team Up 19
Team Up, so he had already appeared. Never mind.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, so Spider-Man gets knocked back a little bit, and he's trying to engage Mirage and one-on-one fisticuffs and melee, if you will. But Mirage again is starting to do his trick where he's not even where you think he is. Spider-Man attacks one place to find out that this dude is right behind him, not in front of him, and he manages to kick Spider-Man again. He hits him from behind like a judo chop. Into like the neck, and then send Spider-Man down a very long staircase.
Look at that staircase. It's a small panel, but it's a long staircase.
And not once does Spider-Man try to stop himself. He lets himself fall all the way down the staircase. And then Mirage slides down the rail and lands with a kick on Spider-Man's face. Spider-Man gets up, tries to hit him. Not there because he's a Mirage. Right? And then suddenly, here's the real Mirage. Bam! Punches Spider-Man. This is a tough fight.
Yeah, dude.
Spider-Man's like, dude, I'm not used to fighting people who aren't where they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's like
Mysterio.
Yeah, unless their name's Mysterio. There you go. Well, then with Mysterio, it's like, ooh, I'm 50 foot tall, Mysterio. And Spider-Man's like, oh my God, how did Mysterio get 50 feet tall? And is never thinking, oh, wait, there's no way.
It's kind of like fighting Nightcrawler, where he's here, then he disappears and moves over here. Like that. Similar.
Kind of similar, yeah. So rather than keep going on this, because Spider-Man's like, dude, I'm getting clobbered.
Yeah.
This guy's lighting me up. He does what any good superhero would do and destroy what is in the 1980s probably something, you know, a massive, you know, multi-tiered chandelier that is probably worth $500,000 to $1 million.
Just bring it on down, Spidey. Bring it on down.
I mean, this thing is giant.
Yeah.
And immediately I'm thinking, this is Spidey's go-to, and in my head I'm thinking, no, this would kill people.
Yeah, this would take a dude out. You could get
this would kill someone if it landed on them. But Spider-Man's like, you know what? I don't even care. I'm tired of you. I'm tired of you chumping me. Here's a ceiling. I mean, here's a chandelier.
Yeah.
You know, eat chandelier. And it works. The chandelier crashes on him, and Spider-Man's like, luckily, this guy's electro suit padding managed to protect him from most of the impact. I'm like, how could you have even known that?
No, you wouldn't. He should have been gored right through the gut or whatever.
This is attempted murder.
Yeah.
But fight's over. Spider-Man goes back to the wedding. There's Mary Jane, looking very nice in her pink dress, by the way, looking very nice.
Let's see here.
And he manages to tie his tie finally.
Good for him.
So no, not good for him. You walk back with the tie untied, and you're like, Mary Jane, can you? This came undone during the fight. Can you help me out? And then she's like, oh, sure, here, come here. And then, then maybe you smooch her.
Oh, okay. There you go.
I mean, that's how they do it in the movies. And then Ned and Betty get married, soon to have a full life of bliss and happiness before them. And we end the issue with Dr. Octopus appearing to Aunt May,
But
scaring her.
who caught the bouquet? Foreshadowing.
It was Aunt May, and then Otto showed up. Yeah,
And then Otto proposes eventually.
yeah.
So who won that fight?
Well, Spider-Man won a fight because he dropped a massive chandelier on a man. But I mean, this was a tougher fight than you think. Now, Mirage is not even. Here's the thing. I mean, once Spidey can struggle with a new villain if he doesn't know their shtick, but once he finally gets this down, I mean, like, no. I mean, what's Mirage going to do to Spider-Man again? Mirage would later go on to such harrowing acts as getting killed by Scourge,
right?
And the bar with no name.
When was that? Was that in Captain America?
Yeah, that was in Captain America.
Yeah. That was during the Serpent something. Serpent. I forgot.
No, that was during. No, that wasn't during. That was just like Scourge, the Scourge of the Underworld. That was the storyline. Scourge was going around killing people, killing bad guys.
So one spider loss, one spider win in this book.
Clearly, Miss Muggins has got some payback coming at some point. But yeah, I mean, Spider-Man wins for what shouldn't have been a tough fight. I mean, like if this dude had ever fought Spider-Man again, Spider-Man would have whipped this dude's butt.
Well, I think this is Mirage's first appearance. I could be wrong.
It is Mirage's first.
He is like a C or a D list villain at this point. But do you think he came on like an A or a B?
Just because of the initial fight, he came on more like a low grade B, maybe.
Yeah, just over time.
So
it was a draw for Spider-Man. He won one, he lost one.
For the book it's a draw, but no, with Mirage, no, there's no draw.
Okay,
He just beat ass on Mirage.
Before we wrap it up, I want to show some things in this old comic book. Evidently, in this book, you had a Marvel value stamp down here that looks like a Hulk leg, drawn by Herb Trimpe. And also, Marvel was selling something that was new for the time that this did not catch on. They're called comic book savers. Long before your white long boxes, Marvel tried to sell you some binders with stickers on them where you could slide your comic book in there and save them. So that was for sale in there.
Venkman brings up an interesting point in chat and says that the whole thing with Doc Ock and Aunt May getting married was ASM 131, which would have been like almost 2 years before this one. Yeah, because remember when he shows up at the end of at the end of this,
that's right.
They know each other, and it's like she's seeing him come back from the dead. So
got it.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
This was where Doc Ock was the mysterious vagrant, and Brad forced me to disclose that prematurely when I did the issue. So.
Also, you could learn how to fix a car really fast by ordering this book right there.
In 7 days?
In 7 days. And what's some others over here? You can earn extra money selling drugs door to door with this kid right here. That's odd. Let's see what any other ads that are popping out of me before we go.
Popping out of you?
Popping out of me. Oh, here's one for X-ray specs. Right down there. You can get some X-ray specs in your comic.
I always wondered if anybody actually ever ordered any of that crap,
right,
and what it turned out to really be. So
I ordered sea monkeys.
And this looks like a John Romita drawn Daredevil Hostess fruit pie ad. Because that face looks like a Romita.
It does. It does a little.
Yeah. And then you have Killraven over there next to Stan's column. And I think that might be the only. 6 months from now, you can be the boss of your own locksmith shop. So you can learn how to make keys.
I need to send off for that. The thing is that somebody would do this and it'd be like, oh my god, I finally found a career, not realizing that even back then there were no locksmith shops. There were just hardware stores, and that's where you went to go get a key made or have something open.
And then on the back cover, you can get prizes by what do you got to sell? Let's see. Oh, you can go door to door and sell seeds for your garden. And if you sell so many seeds, you can win some of these prizes.
Normally, you go door to door selling seeds, you get arrested. At least that's how it happens around here in my neighborhood, Jomo.
So that was a monumental event in Spider history, even though it was in Fight Club, but that was a milestone issue. Betty and Ned still even talked about this past year with Ned coming back to life.
No, Ned didn't come back to life.
His clone came back. I'm sorry.
That's not the. Yeah, it's not the same thing.
Clone Ned. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Martians invaded in 2011, says JR. That you talking about Kill Raven?
You know what? Yeah. Let's do this, Brad.
Yes, sir.
Everyone in chat.
Okay. Before we wrap it up.
Before we wrap it up, well, no, I mean we can already end the episode. I'm just saying this is folks, and don't put this in the podcast.
Okay.
Folks in chat. What are some things that you would like to see us do on Friday Night Fights? Unlike JR, who doesn't want to hear the will of the common man, the will of the worker, who doesn't want to hear from the masses.
That's because it's my show.
I'm asking, what do you guys want to see? Now there's some stipulations. You know me. No damn clones. No Kane, no Ben, none of that crap.
No symbiotes.
No symbiotes.
And no ultimates.
No ultimate crap. No Morlun, because lol Morlun. But what are some of the things that you guys would like to see that we haven't covered that you've been thinking about maybe? Throw it at me.
That limits it to the 60s, 70s, and early 80s.
Clover fan says best Spider-Man movie fights.
Oh, that's not a bad idea at all.
Didn't we cover Didn't we do the ASM2 fight? With Dr. Octopus?
I don't remember us ever doing a movie fight.
Ooh.
I don't ever remember that. Or animated series fight. Movie fights is a great idea.
Movie fights we could do. Yeah, movie fights we could definitely.
The Doc Ock on the subway would be a great one.
If you don't want to do Morlun, do more JMS fights. I'm trying to. Here's the thing: JMS's run was hit or miss for me. The thing he did best was Peter and Mary Jane. But I mean, like a lot of those fights were like villains that we weren't even really ever going to see again. Like that one guy, like the Squid,
the Gamma Gangster Digger.
And so I mean, those. I mean, even though that was beautiful, John Romita Jr. art, it was like,
Neil wants the Ultimate Clone Saga.
Yeah. Neil, that's okay. I'll get in with you on Monday night.
That's funny. That's funny. Doc Ock versus Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2. That's my favorite. I like that one.
What was it? It was a great fight.
Yeah, it was great. I love that subway.
It was a good fight.
I think Doc Ock wins that one because Doc Ock goes away and Spider-Man is passed out after he stops the subway train and he has to get lifted up. But
yeah, technically, it's kind of the same thing as with Crusher Creel. Dr. Octopus endangers civilians.
Yeah,
and manages to get away, leaving Spider-Man to try to save them, and then it winds up knocking him out.
Spider-Man versus Razorback from like Spec. Is that what you're talking about, Hornacek?
Mm-hmm. Spider-Man versus when he came to find his sister from that cult or whatever.
Yeah, I think that's
driving the big pig.
Yeah, driving the big pig. Yeah,
you like that one? Is there a fight there?
If so, it was very brief.
Yeah.
Think of things where Spider-Man actually beat ass.
Spider-Man versus editorial.
Oh, editorial wins 10 times, unfortunately. Neil says not memeing. He wants to see some commentary on the final fight of Spectacular Spider-Man. You mean the cartoon, Neil? Because if so, you actually are memeing.
Is that the one with the symbiote?
Hell, I don't.
And Uncle Ben is in the memory. That's.
I don't know. I don't know.
Transformers 3, where Spider-Man fought Megatron. That's kind of funny. Clover fan. You remember that? The cover of Transformers issue number 3. Spider-Man webs up Megatron.
I was thinking of the movie. I was looking at Transformers 3. I was like, the hell? Spider-Man wasn't in that. What are you talking about? We could. Dude, if I can find that somewhere.
I've got it. I've got it. I could probably send you the images on my phone or something. You could see it.
I may. If I can locate it.
Spider-Man fought Transformers before, like when IDW had the license. Because I remember that cover, Megatron has Spider-Man in his palm.
Of the IDW?
Either that or whatever license.
But to say, because IDW wasn't doing Marvel stuff.
No, I take that back. Whatever that
Yeah.
company had Transformers for a little bit. But there was an Avengers versus Transformers, and I don't know if Megatron says to Spider-Man that we fought before or something like that. But Spider-Man and Megatron have gone up against each other.
I know when they re-released the trade paperbacks of the original Transformers, they actually had to color Spider-Man out and make him look like some just random other character. Yeah, some random dude.
Huh.
Oh, what about any of the Lizard fights, Spider-Man? Yeah, actually, Matt Bird. Oh, yeah, Symbio Bro. What about Mayday fights? It seems like we did a Mayday fight. No, I take that back. I made a Mayday fight. I already know which Mayday fight I want to do now. Yeah, we could do a Mayday fight. 2099. I did say I was open to 2099 fights, so we could do a couple of those. Neil says he feels bad. I'm sorry, Neil. Let's see. What did he ever answer? Yeah, I think he's talking about the Spectacular Spider-Man cartoon. In which case, yes, he was memeing me. Yes.
How about more? JR, that's good.
How about more Green Goblin fight so JR can take over the show? Oh, that's
JR.
Yeah,
JR wrote it himself.
Yeah, suck it, Fettinger. Yeah. Yeah, I got a bridge I want to sell you. Get it? A bridge? Seriously? No, really, a bridge. That was cringy dialogue.
JR, what would George be like with a symbiote?
Well, I would say probably what would happen would there be a bacon shortage, because there'd be it would be Spider-Man would have to be investigating all the bacon robberies for one. So
yeah, that's right. It would be easy to find.
What would you do with your symbiote, George?
Eat brains, I guess. It's apparently what they do. I don't know, Brad.
Oh, they did. Spider-Man was captured by Megatron. They didn't mention the previous encounter. Oh, that's disappointing, Neil. That would have been a nice little wink, wink. We've fought before.
Yeah.
There two different continuities, Neil says. Okay.
I would ask JR if there's any fights he can think of, but JR doesn't even care about him. He covers them like, and then a fight happens. Okay. And then we get back to
fight.
Then we get back to the story that I want to paraphrase.
Yeah, but see, that's it. That's George, how we can coexist then, because then you can cover the fights that I blah 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 over.
Yeah, but
if you guys are like Venom and Carnage, so if I put you two together, I would have Friday night Spider History fights.
Okay.
Isn't that what you got now?
Yeah, that's what I got now.
Did Spider-Man get into any good fights in the DC crossovers? Yeah, actually, we could do Spider. There was a that one with Joker and Carnage and Spider-Man and Batman.
But it's got a symbiote in it. But
it does have a symbiote in it, but it's also got Batman and the Joker, dude. And I love Batman and the Joker.
Did Batman and Spider-Man fight in that one? I don't remember.
No, Batman and Spider-Man were actually kind of chummy. Like they met each other because there were two, and one of them. God, I can't remember now who the other one involved.
I mean, we did though a show with Spider-Man and Superman, right? Michael Bailey guest starred on that one. Yeah. So
we might. Should we invite Bailey back for the Batman one? That'd be fun.
Yeah, maybe.
That'd be fun.
If he wants to come, show you're welcome to have Michael Bailey. But let me see. What did he? Matt Bird said, "How about Spider-Man and Molten Man?" If I can find a good Molten Man fight, yeah, I'll go back and look at
ASM 138. I remember them on a subway, like him choking him.
I'll go back and look at it.
Yeah. Carnage and Joker was the Batman Spider-Man drawn by Bagley. I don't remember what the DC published one was. Let's look that up.
I think that was with Kingpin and Ra's al Ghul.
Yes, you're right.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
That's Bruce Wayne devised a cure. The Kingpin betrayed Ra's al Ghul, and so Batman devised a cure for Kingpin's wife or something like that.
but but it's a good episode because, or a good episode, it's a good issue, because we got to see Spider-Man just kick the shit out of the Joker. Oh my god!
Spider-Man kicked out of the Joker?
Yeah, he punched him out.
Oh man, I haven't read that book since the 90s.
My favorite
Spider-Man
superhero
versus
hitting
Joker. There you go.
hitting my favorite villain.
Mm.
Like, you know, and this is the thing, Joker being my favorite villain, I think it's why I have such a visceral, automatic hatred of stuff that is obviously trying to copy the Joker.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's probably why it is. I think it's why my reaction was so strong when Slott effed up Phil Urich and made him the new Hobgoblin, and when he first appeared with that, you know, jackass fire sword.
I never knew that the Joker was your favorite villain.
Oh yeah. Oh God, I've said that many times. JR, you probably remember that going back to.
Who's your favorite Spider-Man villain, George?
Probably Dr. Octopus. It used to be the Green Goblin, but it's probably Dr. Octopus at this point.
Is it because he died and came back?
No, it's.
I mean, Norman.
There's just been a lot of bad shit done with Norman. You know what probably soured me on Norman more than anything was that Dark Reign crap. That probably made me like, you know what, this dude worked better when he was in the ground. I think that's probably where that comes from. But yeah, and it's the same thing with Carnage. I think I have such a visceral hatred of Carnage because it is such a clear attempt at a Joker pastiche, and I think that's why I hate it so much.
I mean, definitely. I think they've admitted that as well, haven't they?
Yeah.
Particularly like when he first appeared or something, and just it's like that's so obviously the Joker.
Oh, you know what, Joey? That is pretty good. That fight with the Lizard and Torment that McFarlane won.
You know,
the doom.
Yeah, it seems like I went back and looked at that, and there's actually not as much fight as you think there is.
There isn't. He seems to get beat up. It's like 5 issues of getting his butt whooped.
I'll go back and look through them. I mean, maybe we could cover all 5 of them at once and just focus on the fights.
Yeah.
You know, that'd be one thing. I've considered doing a study like Spidey and the Secret Wars and just go through every fight he had there, you know, that he beat ass. And in fact, I think we may do that since we're having to do these with JR now. I think JR should be blessed with this kind of.
Did he ever get in a fight in Secret Wars 2? I know he told the Beyonder how to pee.
He didn't show him. He didn't tell him how to pee. He taught him how to poop.
No, it was pee, I thought.
Nope. Go back and read that issue.
I thought he said his bladder was full or something like that.
He said he felt like pressure in his stomach or something like that. That's not, you got to pee.
Oh, that's not pee. Okay. Yeah.
That's, I got to poop. Spider-Man taught the Beyonder how to poop. And that aside from finding the golden notepad inside of Kingpin's golden building was like, I think like his extent of
Secret Wars 2.
Secret Wars 2.
It's just a little bit more was done in that than Contest of Champions.
Secret Wars 2 was so piss poor.
Oh man, even as a kid, I was disappointed in that.
It really was,
especially after such a buildup of the first one. But
I know because the first one was so awesome. Shut up, JR.
Well, the problem was every corner box in the right hand side said Secret Wars 2 continues here.
Yeah, and you get excited, and then it would be crap.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I mean, without getting into the whole Secret Wars thing, but I mean, yeah, it was taking something that worked, that was very popular, and then just doing a complete. I mean,
with the exception of Incredible Hulk 312, where we learned Banner was an abused child. That's one of the best Hulk books of all time. And it was a Secret Wars 2 crossover.
Yeah.
Because at the end, the Beyonder showed the Hulk how to get back to his world from the Crossroads. So.
No, I mean,
because he was a tortured soul.
I mean, there was lots of things that that changed the status quo after Secret Wars. Not so much after Secret Wars 2. And Marvel was pretty quick to want to move away from Secret Wars 2 after it was over because people were like, "This, wow, is this ass?"
Well, then they tended to do crossovers within universes. So there was like a Mutant Massacre, and what else was there?
Well, I think what fans were hungry for with the Secret Wars 2, and especially when Marvel started to tease it, was they wanted to see more of what they saw the first time, except like maybe with different heroes or maybe in a different, they wanted to see heroes and villains having to fight like another mini war against one another. Instead, we bring Bert Convy to Earth. And teach him how to poop.
Yeah, it was very much the visitor from another world coming to the planet when we wanted just heroes versus villains thrown into a pot and just boil, you know?
Was there,
And
was there a coherent storyline in Secret Wars 2, by the way? I mean, what was the objective?
It was the Beyonder coming to Earth to find how to become human. You know,
oh my lord, you could have watched any Star Trek episode for that.
You know, another problem with Secret Wars 2 is Al Milgram's pencils versus Mike Zeck and Bob Layton's pencils.
Al Milgram was a fine artist, but my God, Mike Zeck in the first Secret
not
Wars.
An Al Milgram art fan. Do you know who originally drew the first issue of Secret Wars 2 and was fired by Jim Shooter?
Who?
Our pal Sal Buscema.
What?
Yes, Sal Buscema. Okay, hold on. I'm going to the... Hold on. You'll love this. Give me a minute. You didn't know that, George?
No.
Huh.
I wonder now how different that would have looked. Because I really liked Zeck's work on Secret Wars. Oh my lord! Oh, Brad's not there. I guess I should look back at the actual window. JR is only there.
Just me.
Hi, JR.
Hi, Brad. Hi,
it's an exciting Brad cam right now. Ooh, shake it like you mean it, Jomo. Shaking what your mama gave you.
So, meanwhile, I bought this years ago because I never thought it'd be collected again before Marvel Unlimited. I bought that. The Secret Wars 2 Omnibus. Oh, look how thick that thing is.
Wow.
That has all 9 issues of Secret Wars 2, and it has here's all the pictures of every book in that thing.
That's not even how I looked on the cover. That's not even how you looked.
I was going to say, that's a rather dreadful. That's even creepier than Bert Convy.
Well, that's a modern art on it.
On the cover, he looks like that Spielberg cartoon. What was it, Freakazoid?
Okay, so when you read the history of I think, let's see here, because they have some unpublished pictures in the back of this, and it has Sal's pencils. Let's see here. Oh yeah, here we go. Marvel editor-in-chief and Secret Wars 2 architect Jim Shooter originally hired artist Sal Buscema to draw his epic tale. Sal penciled the entire first issue before bowing.
Is this Secret Wars 1 or 2?
2. Secret Wars 2.
Oh, I thought you meant Secret Wars 1 earlier, and I was like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, Secret Wars 2 he penciled.
Okay, I wish he would have done Secret Wars 2.
Yeah, he bowed out of the project. I heard he was fired, but presented here are the unused pencils for Secret Wars 2, courtesy of Al Milgram's personal collection. So here, oh my gosh, this is a tomb. Here are some pictures of Sal's Secret Wars 2 stuff.
So why was he fired? I mean, that's the.
I think Shooter didn't like his pencils.
What?
I know, for this story, and he liked Al Milgram's instead. So those.
Well, here's the thing, though. Sal Buscema is a fantastic artist. You know, Brad, I'm a Sal fan.
I'm a big Sal fan. Yeah.
I think maybe what Shooter was thinking is that, you know, like Sal's work, because here's the thing: Secret Wars 2 was not an action story, whereas Secret Wars 1 had been basically just a giant brawl and a war over 12 issues. Secret Wars 2 was like a situation comedy, rom-com, you know, dramedy or something like that. Oh my God, they talked a lot in that thing. And so, you know, I think maybe that's why it was. Maybe he's like, you know, maybe let's have Sal do things where people beat ass and not so much where it's like this thinking man's Secret Wars, which is what I'm giving people, which is what they want. Apparently they don't.
Here's it said in Captain America 308, page 8, it had a printing error attributed to a new flexographic press, which we chose to correct for this collection. Presented here is the original panel and a rather tongue-in-cheek Mighty Marvel correction kit, which ran the letter columns of Cap 310. So when the issue appeared in Cap 308, Captain America did not have a nose. See? So they fixed it in a letters panel later.
Oh my God!
So that was printed in Cap 308 as an error.
I think I remember that actually.
Yeah, that's funny.
Panel looks familiar now.
That's funny. Oh my gosh, this book is big.
I can't believe you bought a Secret Wars 2 omnibus. You'll literally, you'll buy anything.
No,
No, you will. You'll buy anything.
I want you. The reason I bought this because I think I paid like $50 for it.
Oh no!
And this is before. This is before Marvel Unlimited, and I'm like, I just want to sit down and read the sequel to one of my favorite miniseries of all time, and I want to see if it's still as bad as I remember it. And I never got around to reading the book again, mainly because it's hard to hold. Omnibuses are thick, but
so you paid $50 for something that you remember as a bad story, just because you wanted to see if it was as bad as you remember. And you still haven't gotten around to ever confirming that it was.
Well, you know, that's true.
That's $50. That's $50, Brad. That you take it out of your wallet and wipe your butt with it.
Here's the scene with Spider-Man and pooping. Hold on, let me read. Okay, let me see here. Okay. Spider-Man. Hey, I know Reed Richards. He's a genius. He's the leader of the FF. You know the. Boy, I guess I've been a rotten host. Is there anything I can get you? A drink of water, maybe? He says to the Beyonder. Will that relieve this strange pressure, this fullness I feel in my lower abdomen? Spider-Man. No, it'll probably make it worse. Sounds like you have to go to the bathroom. Explain.
Now, here's the thing, Brad.
Does that sound like number 1 or number 2?
Okay, okay. Think about it, genius. Whenever you got a tinkle, Brad, where do you feel it? Do you feel it in your lower abdomen, or where do you feel it, Brad?
There you go. There's the poop scene. First bathroom.
Jr., please explain it to him.
I mean, I have a hard enough time explaining reading to him. I don't know what I have to explain human biology
here. These pages,
how am I going to get a gift that explain that? So,
Brad, when you do the TT dance because you can't get to the bathroom, where is the pressure worst? Where do you feel it?
I want you to.
It's not your lower abdomen.
I want you to guess the amount of pages in this omnibus. How many pages are in this book? And they're printed at the bottom. Take a guess.
Too damn many.
What's your number on The Price is Right?
Hang on. I'll guesstimate it, but I'm doing it with math.
What's your number, JR?
If I say 800, George will just say 801, and then he'll get the prize. But I guess I'll say 800.
I'm going to say... I'm going to say 560. No, I'm going to say 600. I'm going to say 600.
Cloverfield, 542 in the chat. YouTubers, what's your guess of how many pages are in this thick omnibus? Keep going. By the way, there's the last page. I mean, there's like maybe 10 additional pages that aren't numbered, but at the very end, I do have a number. All right. The correct answer is, oh God, 1,150 pages of content in Secret Wars 2.
How? Oh, because it has all the tie-ins.
Oh, all the tie-ins. See, look.
I get it now. I'm like, yeah. What kind of supplemental crap were they putting? And then it hit me. Well, dude, I thought like it meant like, oh, and here's the letterers.
Yeah,
30 piece, the 30-page backstory on
well,
this.
You know, they left out 2 issues from this. Can you guess which issues they left out of this book?
ROM.
Yep.
And
yep. You got one of them.
Whatever. G.I. Joe. No, it wasn't G.I. Joe. It's something they lost the license for, clearly.
Think smaller. Think smaller.
Micronauts.
There you go. There you go.
I knew it had to be a licensing thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so out of the YouTubers, we have established that a good fight would be Spider-Man versus Batman versus Carnage versus Joker. Amazing, or Spider-Man 2, the subway train fight. I would agree. Did we miss it? The Torment Lizard fight? 5 issues of Todd McFarlane.
I'll go back and look at that one, but it seems like
several people have mentioned that one. The Doom.
Yeah, but here's the thing: you're remembering it in your head, and just because you remember a fight doesn't actually mean the fight was good to cover on cross. A lot of times you remember a fight, and you go back and look at it, and the fight itself was really only like a page and a half.
My gosh.
Maybe 2 pages worth of actual.
I must have got a steal on this omnibus. Guess what the price tag is on the back of this
thing?
No,
Brad, if you paid $50 for that, you didn't get a steal, sir.
The price tag is $99 $1,000,000.99.
You're still out $50 on
I know.
1,100 pages that you're not going to read. JR, do the math for him. Help him out here.
Here, let me see when this book was. How long has this been on my shelf that I have not read it? By the way, Spec 200. Have we covered that one? That's a good fight.
Did we? I don't know. I don't think we have.
Spec 200 is a great fight. Joey?
I may have gone back and looked at it. I know I've looked at it, but I think I may have gone back and looked at it, and it turned out that it didn't actually have a whole lot of fight in it.
Was printed in 19 or no. Oh my gosh, this has been on my shelf since 2009. Wow. This
Just to invest money you'll never see again.
I spent $50 9 years ago, and I still haven't read that book. Oh, that's funny.
And 9 years ago, $50 was even more money than it is today. You could have bought a brand new Ford Taurus. No, they didn't have those 9 years ago.
That's funny.
I'm kidding.
Should we call it, gang? It's 1 a.m.
I think so.
YouTubers, thank you for sticking around the after hours with the crawl space here and suggesting some fights. It was fun.
Yeah. We'll I'll look up some of those fights and see what's what. Yeah.
Cool. All right. It's bedtime.
All right.
See you guys.
Later on, folks.